It's a week full of tactical indie games for some reason, but there are always action games as well, so let's begin with Disfigure, a top-down action roguelite with a horror element where you're fighting against nightmarish creatures that emerge from the darkness. Using lines of sight and fog of war in a game like this is interesting, with fun looking weapons as well, but the best part is that this will be free, so why not check it out. A run-and-gun action platformer that I have my eye on is Super Catboy, one with a very weirdly cut together trailer, which I would not recommend to developers, but where this is a pixel art title with good animations and looks like fun. Hey, if you made it this far, subscribe to my weekly newsletter to keep on top of all things indie games, link in the description below.
Explore a life of fantasy in the kingdom of Wendale, where mastering your tactics is the sole way of survival through endless conflict.
Our first tactics title of the week is Crimson Tactics: The Rise of the White Banner, a Final Fantasy Tactics-like title set in a medieval high fantasy world where you know the drill by now. There's political intrigue, warring kingdoms, backstabbing and more.
Take command of every battlefield you enter as you journey across the world,
where dragons seem to play a central role in this game. Interestingly, the systems in this game do seem to be pretty in-depth, with a whole class system where every character can choose one of multiple roles, so managing your party and having the right mix of characters will be critical to your success, where it looks decent as well and is one of interest.
Train new recruits and acquire new mounts to make your party versatile. Experience an epic tale filled with political strife, where every choice you make has a consequence. Embark on a grand adventure.
An all-action roguelite title is Mega City Police, one that is set in a futuristic city and you play as the enforcement arm of the law on an all-out war against crime. It is set in a city where a mega corporation is exerting its influence on the people and where criminals and psychopaths roam the streets, so you play as a cop trying to keep the peace. Multiple playable characters provides variety, and it does have a good throwback look as well, with the pixel art and even scan lines added. One of the more interesting releases of the week is Let's School, a management sim where you're running your own academic institution, but where it has a very slice of life kind of feel to the game, without monsters to fight or anything crazy really happening. There's school construction and upgrading, as well as management of staff and students, where this comes to us from Pathia Games, the developer of My Time at Posha and My Time at Sandrock, making this a curiosity.
Let's go!
Bigger Games of the Week begins with Double Dragon Gaiden, Rise of the Dragons, the return of the iconic Double Dragon franchise, but where it comes to us from Singaporean indie developer Secret Base. There are 4 characters unlocked at the start, with 9 additional characters to get, where every character has their own special moves and playstyle, which gives this variety, where interestingly, it is set in the 1990s in New York City, which has been devastated by a nuclear war, where heroes are fighting to eradicate gangs from the city and looks like a fun throwback.
Smart! Gotcha! Out of my way!
Here we go! Get over here!
One of the most successful Chinese IP is the Xuan-Yuan Sword series, where the latest is Mists Beyond the Mountains, a turn-based RPG that looks kind of cool, not quite Octopath Traveler but with a similar vibe and could be neat. Smaller games begin with ARM's Evolution Zombie Destroyer, a roguelite tower defense title that got my attention since I don't know what is going on here, but I love it and seems impressive for what it is. End of Edge is a top-down wuxia action title set in a world of Chinese mythology and legends, where the minute-to-minute action looks exhilarating. A retro pixel art action platformer is Full Moon Rush, where you play as a werewolf and take on various bosses, where the bullet hell influence is clear and looks like a challenge. This next title kind of went viral on social media, so it got a decent number of followers, where Grand Emprise Time Travel Survival is a first-person survival game that looks like Ark Survival Evolved, but where you're able to adventure across time periods and looks ambitious, but where I believe this is from a solo developer with somewhat of a spotty track record, since their previous title, Paragon, seems to have been rushed out the door, so I say proceed with caution. A neat-looking pixel art tactics title is Great Ambition of the Slimes, where you control such creatures with the ability to possess and control enemies, turning them against each other, and has an interesting twist. The most recent iteration of Atari seems to be getting a handle on things, where they are publishing Mr. Run and Jump this week, a neon precision platformer that does look kinda fun, evoking both Geometry Dash and Super Meat Boy. We also have the Steam release of PixelJunk Scrappers Deluxe, an up to 4-player beat-em-up title that is the latest in the PixelJunk universe, although it sure took a while to come to PC. The solo developer of the action roguelite Smash Dungeon did reach out, so I wanted to help, where this hack and slash title looks alright in terms of action. Space Cat Tactics has also long been in development, where it's a self-described tactical space opera RPG where you're piloting and managing fleets of ships on both a micro and macro scale, and seems to be in-depth if you're into this type of game. One of the more visually striking games of the week is The Banished Vault, a run-based strategy game where you're exploring a solar system where you're attempting to build outposts, find artifacts, and survive long enough to transmit the story of your vault back home, looking pretty impressive and intense. A cute looking turn-based tactics title is The Black Pepper Crew, one where you play as bounty hunters in a jazzy city, where the various animal crew members all have special abilities.
Are you ready?
I also want to give a shout out to Whispers in the West, a co-op narrative-focused murder mystery game where you must work together to solve the crime and might be fun with friends, where the first case is free and the rest will be paid DLC.
Vampires. You need guns. Lots of guns.
The top 5 begins with Vampire Hunters, a game that tickles my fancy since games have such a funny way of wrapping around on themselves, where this draws inspiration from Vampire Survivors, but is a roguelite first-person shooter instead. The inspiration shows itself in that you're able to stack all of the guns in this game, hilariously cluttering up the UI and your field of view, but where I'm assuming there are complementary weapon combinations to puzzle out, combined of course with tons of enemies to slay, looking hectic and fun. I did a double take when I came across Super Rough Boat together, since it sure looked like Super Rough Boat to me, and indeed is from the same developer, where this roguelite shooter adds a co-op element and should be fun. You're moving around on your raft, fighting back enemies as they attempt to destroy it, where repairing and maintaining the raft is key to your survival, which you need to balance with defense and shooting at enemies, having a wonderful look. Yet another tactics title of interest is USC Counterforce, one with a decidedly more grimdark atmosphere, reminiscent of Aliens and the Warhammer 40k universe, where you command a squad of elite commandos sent to investigate a colony gone dark and facing off against an alien threat. This one looks like a treat for sci-fi tactics fans since they seem to have nailed the atmosphere, but do note that it will be an early access release, with the story campaign to be added later, where I believe this launches with 4 special operations missions and an endless number of procedurally generated levels to get a feel for the systems in this.
Join the USC in defending humanity.
One of my most anticipated games of the month is Koa and the 5 Pirates of Mara, a spin-off of the Summer in Mara
cozy farm sim,
where instead of that genre, this is a 3D platformer that stars a chibi version of our main character. It looks light-hearted and fun, with a vibrant world to explore and the classic collectathon gameplay, where 3D platformers are not that common at all these days, so if you're itching to play one of these, why not give this a go? A game which announced its release date after I made my preview video of the month is this Final Fantasy Tactics-like tactical RPG, which has been a very long time coming, first being kickstarted in 2016, so that's what, 7 years and counting, but where Arcadian Atlas looks to be a faithful tribute to that, with the variety in characters and classes, as well as the story, so fingers crossed it pays off for the developer. We can find more tactics titles in this video.